Okay, here we are. Task number 8, push-pull. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about extrusion and how push-pull is taking our two-dimensional shapes and turning that profile or a profile into a three-dimensional shape. So first off, I'm going to make a 3-foot by 3-foot square, and that will be our profile. Think of this, if you've ever seen angle iron. Angle iron has a profile that looks very much like if you were to make an L with your thumb and pointer finger. And if doing that, normally it's dimensioned about 2 inches by 2 inches, and the steel itself would be a 1/4 inch thick. And the way that is made is by creating a profile or a die, and very hot metal is passed through it. Normally those come in 20-foot lengths. So what we would be doing here to draw that back in to Sketchup, no pun intended, is this is our profile, and we're going to be using our push-pull tool, as I've just selected, to extend that into the third dimension. So as you can see, I clicked on that face, it gave me access to create an extrusion. And when that happens, I could just choose, and again, like when we created our lines, kind of go up and be like, oh, okay, 2 foot, 11 1/4. Well, I want a 3-foot by 3-foot by 3-foot cube. So I'm going to do exactly what I did to make that square. I choose 3 foot. It enters in the lower right-hand corner. I hit enter. I now have a 3-foot by 3-foot cube. The other thing I can do is I can use this to modify my dimensions. I can make my width here, which is 3 foot. I click on it. I can just pull it over. If there was another object I was trying to butt up against, I could pull it over to that object. Or, again, I could precisely add on to. I'm not giving a total length. So if I go back to 0, so let me get out of that. I am at 0. I am at 3 foot in width. I click on this face, and I can change it depending on where I'm going. So I'm going to just set this right in there, and I can verify what its total width is with my tape measure. So right there, 4 foot 10 and 9/16. Okay, so I want to make this thing taller. So I'm going to go back to my push-pull tool. I'm going to select that. I have active control over this. I want to make it 6 foot total. Okay, so that means adding 3 foot to our already 3-foot cube. So there we go. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I could keep going. I could keep adding in all directions. The other thing I could do is I can take this. So again, I have positive control, and I can, let's say I want to reduce the width by 2 foot. I hit negative 2 foot, and I hit enter. The next thing I want to point out is I can use this to cut holes. And by that, I mean I can select another profile. I already have this solid object here. So let's say I want to put a hole through the center of this. So I've created a new profile, and essentially using that concept of negative, I could go out and positive, or the other thing I could do is I can go negative this, and I can cut a hole through this. So, kind of summarize, and then I could do some other things. But to summarize, pushing and pulling is extrusion. I am cutting positive or negative space, or pushing a profile positive or negative into positive or negative space, excuse me. And essentially what we're looking for here is an ability to go from a 2-dimensional shape to some type of 3-dimensional shape. So that is push-pull, and that is how it is used. So that's task 8. Talk to you next time.